Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, we successfully designed our add a student registration page. So now we have to insert all that our data. And as I told you, I want to do when it should be insert any data, then in our database, that means in our user table, that have also one of the field as a ID, that means the ID number. So automatically it should be generated one of the ID number like that our code, okay? So if you want to do that work, first of all, I want to actually complete this part and then I will insert everything. So how can generate it one of the ID number I show you. So I want to do like when you select any year, okay, whatever the year you actually selected, automatically after that year, that means it should be display as a 2020 if you select as a this ID, that means this year. So after this it should be added, after this it should be added as a 3000 and then it should be started with the 1, okay, and then our another ID will be as a 2, another ID will be as a 3, okay, whatever the registration will be created automatically. So this type of one of the formatted ID number will be generated. So first of all I want to do that work. For doing this here, that will be actually a lot of the field, right? There's a lot of the field I want to do. I want to use on the DB. After this I want to use as a DB, okay. So because of all here you will use one of the transactional DB, then actually if there have any error it should be not inserted any data, okay, then actually it should be helpful. Because of all here I have to insert data in our 3 different table. So for the reasons I am using the DB. With this DB there have also another function as a transaction function. So with this transaction function it should be check everything, okay. That means it should be check every field. If there have any error, then it will be not inserted any data. So first of all I want to do into the request area. Into the request area I name it as a DB. I have already used this DB, so make that sure you use the DB rather than it should be show some of the error, okay. So now with this DB I want to use that as a one of the function as a transaction, okay, one of the function as a transaction function, and here I want to take it, I want to take it as a function. So I want to take it as a function. Into the function area I want to use that our request. I show you everything will be very clear to you. That will be our this request, okay. So into this requested area, I use area, I pass that our this request, and then here make that sure add the semicolon, and after that as I told you I want to use that whatever the data this user that means this admin will be choose, that is a clever ER field, right? So now I take one of the variable, I just name it as a check year, okay, name it as a check year, and then check year if you want to access our this field data, that means if you want to access our this year data, so they have also one of the model. I have already loaded this model, that is actually our student year model, right? So with this student year model we can able to access our this year field name. So now I want to do with this student year model, I want to find our requested data first, okay, that means our requested data. So if you go there, that is the year, that is the year field. So that is our field name as a year ID, right? So now that is our field. So with this field I want to first of all get our this requested field name, or requested field name as a year ID, right? So from to the year ID I want to access our name. That means if you go to our better I go open it, I show you. Actually I want to share every process that actually you have to know. That is our student year, right? Into the student year, that is the name I want to take, okay. So as I told you, first of all it should be get this name, and then it should be added some of the 0001 ID, 002 ID. So after that automatically it should be incremented. So for the reasons here I want to take this name. So if you want to take this name, with this I want to access this field name as a name. So that is our requested year ID, and then with this requested year ID I want to access our field name as a name, okay. I hope friend it's very much clear to you. And then I want to get our which user, that means which student is registered, this student data I want to take, okay. So for the reasons if you go to our type, into the user, and that is also as a user type, right? A user type will be, as I told you, into the comment you can see how much helpful it is. It should be like that as a student, rather than it should be as an employee, rather than it will be as a admin. So I want to generate all that our ID number for our this student. Okay, so for the reasons here I have to put the get this data from our user table. I take another variable as a student. Okay, I take another variable as a student, and then our user model, I want to get this data, so I put on the condition where our user type, user type, maybe make the spelling is correct. Okay, so that is actually our user type. So that is our user type. When this user type will be as a student, okay, I name it as a student. When it should be as a student, then I want to get this as order by. Order by. I want to get this order by with our user ID. Okay, user to the user table. They have also another field as ID. So that is the ID. So that is the ID. I want to get that all the descending data. That means it should be as a descending data, DESC. Okay, and then I want to get that fast data. So I want to get the fast data. Perfect. So I hope it's very much clear to you. It should be applicable for our this students. So for the reasons here, I take also this data, and after that I want to add one of the condition. Okay, so I add one of the if condition. If there have any students, okay, either it's first of all it should be check in our particular this field area, is there have any student data or not. So if you get any admin data, it should be not working. If you get any employee data, it should be not working. Only it should be applicable for our student. Okay, so for the reasons here I want to with this condition I want to check it. So I take our this student, appropriate this field data, I take the things with this variable. So when this student will be equal null. Okay, when this student will be equal null, first of all it will be check it, and then I take one of the variable as a fast. Then it will be started from to the fast. Okay, so if there have exist one, that means if there have already one of the user type as a student, so then it should be started from to the 1 to 2, right? Rather than it will be started from to the 0. Okay, so here that is actually the condition. So I show you when actually I complete it, everything will be very clear to you. So that is our register. So I take one of the variable and I just take it with it will be started from the 0. Okay, so that will be actually fast one. Our fast ID will be generated. So now I want to take another variable as a student and ID. Student ID will be our this fast. So that means from here it should be started. So I simply add this part. Okay, and after that automatically, as I told you, it should be started from the 0, and then automatically it should be add plus. That means that will be as a +1. Okay, so first of all it should be as a 0 first, then it should be as a 1, then it should be as a 2. Automatically it should be incremented. Okay friend, I hope it's very much clear to you. And after that I put another if condition. And better that is our last one. Better and put another note for you. That is actually our AND method. Okay, that will be actually long, so better I put some of the note for you. So after that I want to put another if condition, and into the if condition area when our that is actually started from the 1, right? So now I want to do when this will be as a less than the 10, then actually it should be do some of the work. I take one of the variable. As a ID underscore number. Okay, ID number will be started with the 00. That means the 000, and then our ID. Okay, that means our this first ID I take it with this variable. That means that will be as a this one. Okay, so I simply concrete it and I just add this variable. I hope friend it is very much clear to you, right? So first of all it will be start check it, and then it will be started this one. Then after that student ID, that is a register number, will be as a generated as a 000, and then our plus. Okay, that means 001, 0002, 0003. So this step of automatically it will be incremented. And else if I put another one as a else if. So I put another else if, and our the else if will be just like that same. When it should be as a less than the 100. Okay, when it will be as a less than the 100, because that is one of the school software, the lot of the student you have to actually entry, right? So when it will be as a less than 100, then it will be actually as a 20, okay, 00, and then that will be as our ID. And also I want to add another else if that will be the same condition, less than the 1000, then it will be actually only 10. That means our ratio every time will be as a 3. Okay, so first of all it will be get that our name, that means our year ID name, and then it will be added the 00000. Perfect. So always our ratio will be only the 3 digit. For the reasons here I simply put this condition. I hope friend it's very much clear to you. Okay, so that is our and if. So that is all the and if, and here I want to do and to add another else. Else means all that is actually null, right? So when it will be null, then actually it should be started from to the first. And else, that means when they have already some of the student data, then what exactly it should be do. Okay, so for the reasons here we have to add that another else condition, and better I want to do and to put some of the note for you, that will be as and else. Okay, that will be as and else, and else it will be I take another variable as a student, so it will be just like that same. Okay, better I copy it, it will be just like that same, and here I paste it. Okay, so I simply paste it. So with this student user data, where our user type will be as a student, or get this order by ID data, descending order, first this data, and then I first this data with our ID. Okay, only here we have to add this ID. Okay, so now I simply add this ID. That is actually our first a specific ID, whatever the ID which will be started from here, I want to get that first ID. Okay, that means one row ID I want to take it, and after that it will be just like that same. After that automatically it will be add that another action. So I put another variable as a student under student ID, and this student ID will be our this specific ID, whatever the last data actually will be get one of the specific row, and after that I take it with this variable, and after that it should be add that as a +1. Simple. Okay, that means if there have already existing one of the student, and if there have already have and one of the ID number as a 0005, then it should be get that as a 5 ID. Okay, and after that 5 ID it should be add that another one as a 0006. So that is the condition. Okay, and then also here I have to do the same condition. Better I copy that if I copy this total condition. Okay, I copy this total condition and then I paste it. Okay, that means when it will be as a less than 10, it will be as a 3 digit. When it will be as a 100, then it will be 2 digit, and then when it will be less than as 1000, then it will be as a 1 digit. Perfect. So friend, that's all we have to do for generate our one of the unique ID. Okay, that means that is actually our ID number. So here I will insert this data. So that is actually all that process. I hope every part is very much clear to you. And after that and, so that is our and else, and here we have to insert rest of all that our field data. Okay, so better I want to continue this process. In our next video I will insert all that our data in our this database table. That means the different type of database table. Here we have to insert some of the data into the user not there, that is our user, that is our assigned student, and then discount student. So how can do that work? Better I want to continue this process. In our next video I will show you that things with a live example. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.